Hello everyone, and in today's video tutorial we're going to be asking ourselves the following question. How serious a challenge did Elizabeth face from Catholics and Jesuits in relation to her religious settlement? Today we're going to be focusing on this branch, the Jesuits, the radical Roman Catholic missionary priests. Trained abroad, they would be sent to England and attempted to turn the country back to a Catholic state. You want to be asking yourself, were they a bigger and more credible threat than the opposite branch of the Puritans? There were still plenty of Catholics in England when Elizabeth became Queen. William Shakespeare, for example, belonged to a Catholic family. Those Catholics unwilling to accept Elizabeth as the head of the Church, who held public office, had their positions taken away from them. Attendance to the Elizabethan Anglican Church was made compulsory, but the Pope ordered English Catholics to not attend Anglican services. These people became known as recusants, those who refused to attend their parish church on a regular basis. They followed the Pope's orders, but were fined £1 a week. This was a significant amount of money for anyone below the gentry, which may be a reason why Catholicism lasted longer in the higher sections of society. Pause the video and answer the following question. Describe the experience of a Catholic living in England at the start of Elizabeth's reign. In 1570, Pope Pius V excommunicated Elizabeth for a papal bull, an issue ordered from the Pope. This was very important, as it said that Catholics no longer had to be loyal to the Queen and directly ordered them to disobey her laws or be excommunicated themselves, cut away from the Catholic Church. This encouraged Catholics in England and abroad to revolt against Elizabeth and take to more direct action. In response, Elizabeth passed the Treason Act, making the denial of Elizabeth as the head of the Church an act punishable by death. In 1572, just across the shores in France, violent scenes took place. The St. Bartholomew Day massacre in France occurred. Thousands of French Protestants were killed in mob violence that, it was believed, was brought about by the Catholic government. Bloodshed in France and worsening relations with Spain led to greater hatred and fear of Catholicism that was surviving in England. Pause the video and ask yourself this following question. Why did the papal bull, coupled with the St. Bartholomew Day massacre, make the Catholics a more serious threat to Elizabeth? From the 1580s, a new Catholic threat emerged that added to these feelings of fear towards the Catholics. This was a religious organisation dedicated to serving the Pope, known as the Jesuits. They had rigorous training and were sent to England as educators. The idea was to gain influence over rich and powerful families and to turn them against the Queen and the Anglican Church. Once in England, they helped to smuggle other priests into the country. Edmund Campion was probably the most famous English Jesuit. He was brave and a charismatic leader. When he arrived in 1580, under the disguise of a jewel merchant, he first went to Lancashire, where Catholicism was strongest. Later, he moved to London, holding church services in the homes of important Catholic families. All this had to be done in secret, and using safe houses and priest holes, cleverly concealed rooms, and spaces where priests could hide, and where the illegal Mass could be celebrated. Unfortunately for Campion, he was caught by one of Francis Walsingham's spies in 1581 and taken to the Tower of London, where he was imprisoned for 4 months and allegedly tortured on the rack 2 to 3 times, where he gave a confession. He was executed, hung, drawn and quartered on the 1st of December 1581, aged 41. Pause the video and make sure you're able to answer these 2 questions. Why were Jesuits considered such a danger to Elizabeth? And what was the significance of Edmund Campion's martyrdom? Have a look at the following drawing. The drawing was created in Rome in 1584, and it shows the torture of Edmund Campion. Why do you think this drawing was made in Rome to show this scene? Think about the location of where it was drawn, the timing of when it was drawn, and also the motive. Pause the video and write down your response to this. So what are our final thoughts? The Catholics were clearly more organised, and after the papal bull became an increased threat to Elizabeth when compared to the Puritan threat. Secondly, many Catholics would go on to be involved in plots to directly overthrow Elizabeth, which we will study in future video tutorials. Thanks for watching.